Hi guys, today I'm bringing you a gameplay commentary from my recent Magicka Templar build, the Sunpierced Paladin. This will be in a solo queue, 4v4 competitive Battleground, and some Cyrodiil clips at the end. I'm not on voice comms with any of these other players, but I know Murphy X from Cyrodiil. He's a very strong player. Right from the get-go, we are able to get a quick kill. As Murph goes into his Northern Storm, I pop my healing ultimate just to make sure that we've got enough healing to be able to stay on the offensive front foot. One of our teammates is just sitting in the back, seemingly AFK, so at the moment it is a bit of a 3v4. And on the Templar, what you really want to be doing is switching between defensive and offensive mode, so it takes a bit of experience, but it's just figuring out when you want to be on your defensive back bar healing and when you want to push forward with some aggressive stuns or radiant destructions on your front bar. Here the enemy sorcerer drops down an Atronak, which combined with the enemy Templar's Jesus Beam gets me quite low, so I go into my healing ult just in an attempt to stay alive. We're taking a lot of pressure because we've got 4 players damaging our 3 health bars, but nevertheless we're able to get that sorcerer down, and just sort of playing a rolling defense fallback, we're able to single out players one at a time and get them down. Yeah, so we're doing okay despite being outnumbered while we're keeping the fight broken up. The big thing about Battlegrounds is that it can be very steamrolly, so as soon as you start to get the advantage, you can stagger their respawns, and as such you're breaking the fights up into fights where you're outnumbered in your favour, but here we're being forced back a bit because of the incoming damage. We're doing some line of sights. And here we're able to split up the fight into 2v2s essentially, but then the Atro comes down, so I'm forced to move around and break the line of sight there. Against Magicka sorcerers, it's very important to try and take down their Twilight Matriarch because it just pumps out a ridiculous amount of healing. But if you are able to take it down, then you've got a window of opportunity where you can burst, and they need to do the cast time to get it back up again. So that's why I always try and do fighting against Magicka sorcerers. Dionysus here takes a bit of damage. I try to keep him up with some Breath of Lives, with some Rushed Ceremonies, and I'm just playing around the cover here just so that I'm able to keep myself up without expending my magicka, keeping myself healed. So a player goes down, I try and get him down further with the execute, but I'm staying on the offensive here, and unfortunately our Dragonite goes down, which means that now it's a 4v2. We're in a bit of trouble here. We're taking a lot of damage. I try and get around the corner, but unfortunately I go down as well. And then this is the issue here, where we're breaking up into smaller staggered respawns. What I'm just signaling to my group here is to focus on the enemy's Twilight because they're able to do big burst heals there. So what I try and do here is to prevent us from being spawn camped. I drop down and I try and pull aggro and get them to follow me around the corner and up onto the bridge here, giving time for my other teammate to jump down as well without just being immediately swarmed by the hungry sharks at the bottom. This bridge is really nice for a Templar to play on because you're able to use your javelin to get players off, but I sort of get stuck here in the corner and I don't watch my health, and again I go down here. So we're not doing fantastic, to be honest. We've been able to put out some good healing, but because we're outnumbered here, it's just becoming quite tricky for us to stay on the offensive. So we're behind in points, and unfortunately Murph goes down there as well. So again, we're just staying on the back foot. Don't engage if your teammates are in respawn because it's a completely stacked fight against your favour. So try and make some line of sight, play defensive until you can get your teammates back. This player pushes forward, which gives us an opportunity while he's out of position to punish him. My teammate there, the Dragonite, goes in with the leap, which is really handy, gives us the extra damage we need to finish him off. And again, we've got a single player here. I'm not sure what the rest of the team are doing. They really should just be dogpiling us. That's their advantage here with the extra numbers. I'm forced into my healing ult. I've been trying to hold off on that so that I can maybe save up for a meteor, but the pressure is just too high. Again, we're able to get a single player down, but now the Atro comes down and we need to break line of sight here. I take a lot of damage, but I predict that a lot of damage is incoming, so I'm able to break around the corner. We're practically neck and neck here with just 5 seconds to go, but we're able to get down this sorcerer just in the nick of time, and we're able to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat for the first round. Unfortunately, we don't get another player backfill in between the rounds, so we're going into second round again outnumbered at a bit of a disadvantage. So what we need to do here is really just play very tight together, try and force them to come to us, and hope that one player overextends and we can focus damage on him. If we fight in the open with the Mag Sork, the Pet Sork there, they'll just have free line of sight and they'll be able to keep their teammates up as well. So Murph goes in offensively with his Northern Storm. I try and play a mixture of offense and defense there. This guy overextends, so I target him down with a Javelin and a Jesus Beam. And again, here it's just a case of trying to survive the enemy's bursts. I'm effectively out of position here and they're attacking me. I'm able to break line of sight and my teammate, my Dragonite teammate, is able to respawn, and we are back into a bit of a sprawling fight. The Atro comes down, forcing us to change position, but my teammates are not backing away, so I just try and keep them up with burst heals from the corner. Unfortunately, that's not enough to keep the DK up, so again, I break line of sight and go around the corner. We have had another player backfill in. I do go down here, but now we've got the opportunity to at least fight on an even keel. So here again, this is the problem if you get staggered respawns. You can lose a lot of points. You can see on the scoreboard we're 45 for 180 at the moment, so we're very far behind. But we've got a friendly Atro now, which means that we can control space. And with a major Berserk buff from the charged Atronak, I'm able to do some serious damage with that Jesus Beam there. These guys are still low, they haven't managed to recover, so we're able to just sort of push past their Atro and then just pick them off one by one. And all the time I'm dropping Purifying Rituals on the ground, just giving my teammates the ability to heal with the synergy. I take the Twilight down. The Sorcerer is trying to streak away to break some space and resummon her, but we are able to keep up and take her down. Enemy comes in with the DK, with the Dawnbreaker, but we're able to survive that. And again, this is becoming a bit of a comeback here. Now it's the enemy team that are staggering their respawns. They're coming down one by one. This is not the way to play it. If this happens to you in your games, what you want to do is just wait up and spawn out of line of sight until all of your team has spawned together and then come down together as a 4. It's much trickier when you're not on voice comms, but yeah, try and resist the temptation to be a hero and jump down 1v4, unless you're very, very good. And again here, no matter how good or tanky the player is, they're not going to survive 4 competent players beating down on them. Now they're doing the opposite, they're just waiting in spawn and not coming down at all. And unfortunately for them, they just haven't learned. They're just coming down one at a time, and that trickle is just very easy to defeat. You can see the scores have completely flipped, and we can even take pot shots at the enemy team in spawn. So we're just one kill from winning here. That was a close game initially, and we had some very tense moments in the middle game, but we were able to hold our ground and keep our teammates up, while at the same time focusing down selected enemies with pressure and stuns, allowing our team's damage to overwhelm them one by one. Positioning and sort of being able to swap from offensive to defensive is the absolute key when playing Magicka Templar. This BG mostly demonstrated the defensive and movement capabilities, so as we move on to the Cyrodiil clip, you'll hopefully get to see some more of the offensive capabilities. So in this clip, we're behind enemy lines, attacking a resource at one of the red home keeps, and just as we turn the flag, we're attacked by initially 2 players, what appears to be a Dragonite and an Arcanist, and also then a Nightblade hiding back in the background. So my target, as always, is the Nightblade first because they have the capacity to do lots of burst damage. I'm able to get a cheeky Meteor Javelin combo on them and they go down really quickly. What I'm also trying to do here is I'm trying to keep up the allied guards with the heal from my Purifying Ritual. And at the same time, I am trying to focus down the players one by one. There was another blue player with us, but they don't survive very long. They go down fairly quickly. And now I'm just looking for an opportunity to try and get some burst on. I've almost got my meteor here, and that will be my opportunity to turn around and go onto the offensive here. I'm just trying to keep my my guards alive, but my meteor is ready, and I see an opportunity to go and attack the Arcanist here. So I call my meteor down, get the javelin in, follow it up with a beam, and that burst combo is very difficult to survive. And then here I make a slight mistake. I play defensive instead of offensive. The DK walked into the meteor and went below 30% health. That was my opportunity to beam him. But unfortunately I missed that, and now the Nightblade has respawned and come back to join the fight. So I focus on the Nightblade because they can do a lot of damage. I almost get him down. My detect pot is not on cooldown, not off cooldown yet, so I'm forced to abandon the attack. But at the same time, I am trying to just pressure him down, because if the Nightblade is busy healing themselves, they won't be hitting me in the back. I'm trying to force the Nightblade to come join the fight in the middle, so I move attention off them and start focusing on the DK again. And my plan here is to get the Nightblade to try and overextend offensively onto me, and then hopefully I'll be able to turn and burn them quite quickly. Unfortunately, the Arcanist has rejoined the fight now as well, so I'm effectively back to square one with most of my allied guards dead. Get a small defense tick there, but we're not doing great here. We might be forced to go into the tower soon and accept that this flank's getting flipped, but actually the DK goes down following my meteor, and I'm able to persist with the radiant destruction and they're able to go down. Now here I'm going to try and tempt the Nightblade to come in for a res, so I'm going to move attention off them, pretend to focus on the Arcanist, but keeping the corpse in my view, and as soon as they start getting resed, that's my opportunity to go in. Unfortunately my detect pot is still off cooldown, and the Arcanist throws some cheeky heals to the Nightblade and they're able to keep them up. But what I'm trying to do here essentially is I want to take the Nightblade down first before I focus the Arcanist. And now that my detect potion is off cooldown, I can go full aggro against the Nightblade. And then I'm just left with the Arcanist, and this is pre-patch actually, so the Arcanist still has their busted huge impervious rune ward, which can be very difficult to take down in a 1v1, and unfortunately the Dragon Knight is back as well, so this is becoming a bit untenable for me to stay out here. I use the little brazier to try and deflect the beam, but I'm almost definitely going to have to go into the tower here and do some line of sight. I'm not able to keep the Arcanist and the DK off the flag long enough to stop it from flipping, and soon there'll be guards and negates and stuns in the mix. So we do what we can out here, but inevitably we will need to go inside, especially if the Nightblade, who is probably riding furiously back to join us, and yeah, lo and behold, the Nightblade is back as well. So now it's a 3v1. And we try and do one more burst on the DK here, but it's ineffective because they're completely focused on me and I'm out in the open. So the sensible thing here is to break line of sight and go into the tower, where you can use corners and ledges to your advantage. The key to 1vx is not being able to out-tank 3 players in open field. You'll only be able to do that against very, very bad players. It's more about being intelligent with your positioning, your line of sight, your resources, and just not overextending. And that comes with experience. So here I'm just fighting in the doorway. The doorway can be quite tricky for enemies to keep up with because you can easily move one way or the other. My key here is to take down the mage guard to stop them from throwing negates onto us or reflect bubbles. We've got all 3 of our enemies here, and what we want to do is we want to make some space and just force them to extend out to chase us. So we go behind the tower, making sure to keep our defensive bubble up. Ideally, if we can throw somebody off the tower, that will change the fight in our favour, but I miss with both my javelins. And the Nightblade breaks away, so I'm left 1v1ing the DK. I get my meteor combo off on them, and they take a lot of damage. The Nightblade decides to come back just in time to eat the meteor as well, so that's a very happy coincidence. Nightblade is scared now. He saw his DK go down, and I've already killed him twice, so he knows that I've got the damage to outdo him. Unfortunately for this Nightblade, my detect pot is off cooldown this time, and they do not survive my burst. That leaves us free to then go and reclaim the objective. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Hope that was useful, just watching some gameplay in BGs and Cyrodiil and my thought process. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I will see you later.